Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is boy burstzgyt back here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all have been doing well. As you know, it is nearing the end of the year, so I thought this would be a cool little thing to do. It is my first time doing one of these little tier lists, so just bear with me. I'm going to try to make sure this isn't a super long video, so let's get straight into it now. Everything that was released this year, that came out this year, is listed down below. Now, I will say A through C does not necessarily mean I hate those figures or think that they're super bad. It just means I think that there's a lot of improvements that could be had on such figures or different things that we'll get into a little bit later. So to start this all off, I am going to go for one of the S tier characters. I'm going to immediately put SSJ4 Vegeta there. I'm going to try to keep this one short. I love Vegeta. Great character, and people can disagree with me on that, but I love Vegeta. And when they showed this Vegeta like a long time ago, I just knew he was going to be like amazing. He's pretty flawless, if you ask me. At least the one I have, he's flawless. Everything that SSJ4 Goku does, he can do as well, and I love it. I've been messing with it since I've gotten it. Different poses and whatnot, just so amazing for a figure to be able to just recreate all those iconic moments from GT and whatnot. And there's a lot of possibilities, I think, of what this specific figure and how he was built that they could use for Super Vegeta or Super Baby Vegeta or SS Blue Evolution. Hate that form, though. Really hate that form. But he is really buff for some reason, even though, well, that's a whole different discussion. You know, that form is something. But yeah, he was kind of buff in that, and they could kind of take some things from here, and I would love to see them do it. So overall, I would say flawless. You know, chef's kiss for a figure. Moving on, I'm going to throw one of the superhero figures under the bus. I'm going to throw Vegeta under the bus here. Great faces. I love the expressive faces for the superhero line. They're really great, and if you've seen any of the other figures revealed that are coming out in 2023, yeah, they've continued that trend with having really expressive faces, Broly crying, and the different pan faces. They all look great. But man, the articulation on this Vegeta is kind of garbage, if you ask me. You know, some of the other Vegetas I have, like the demoniacal fit Vegeta, I can get him into some good poses. Or demoniacal fit Majin Vegeta, I should say. I can get him into some really great poses. Now, I know that's a really maybe not fair comparison, but I think that this Vegeta could have been a lot better in the lower body portion, right? Like the legs really can't go up that high. Torso can tilt back and forth like a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. There's some things I think that could have definitely been improved and made a little bit better just so he has a little bit more motion. But he's a budget figure, so I can't really complain too much. You know, hopefully that the next Vegeta's onward after the Super Saiyan armored Vegeta, and whenever they do that base Vegeta, hopefully they're a lot better. You know, it is what it is, though. It's a budget figure, and a lot of these superhero figures are like that. Can also throw Goku in there because some of the same complaints, pretty much. Nothing too different. Again, love the expressive, the faceplates. Let's throw Android 21 in there. Android 21 is great. I love the lab coat having a swivel, you know, near the hip. That really is great for dynamic poses and as well as still recreating just a standard lab coat look. I do think that they should take this idea to Ichigo that they just revealed, because unless that Ichigo's cape, you know, is super flexible, bendy, and doesn't really hinder any articulation in the legs, you know, okay. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like we haven't really seen them pose it yet. It's just really just standing there. But I do know that that's something people have a lot of concern with, you know. So this would be the better route. Now, some other things why I would put her in B is, well, she's in heels. It makes it a little bit harder to get her posed and make sure she's balanced because it's not flat foot. So that would be kind of something that I have an issue with here and there with her. But, you know, it also plays into the hair. It's a little bit heavy. So I try my best to get her in poses that are not necessarily needing her leaning over and stuff like that. But she's a great figure overall. The glasses and whatnot, I've heard different stories with different people trying to put them in. If you take them off and try to put them on another faceplate, there's a chance too much pressure, you break them or something. So keep that in mind. I've opted to just not take them off anymore after the first time because it is a little bit difficult. But, you know, her faces look great in general. She comes with an effect piece, so great figure. Let's move on to... It's hard to pick. Let's go on to Frieza. Frieza is great. Can be used to recreate many different arcs and whatnot. Universe Survival Saga, Namek Saga, Resurrection F, and anything else he's appeared in, really. He comes with a halo, so you can make him dead or whatnot. Comes with a Dragon Ball. And I really love that most of the Namek Saga figures, I believe, come with a Namekian Dragon Ball. Really cool. And I believe they all have their own little light up, not effect, but they all can go up under Purunga here. And I think Purunga also comes with his own set of Dragon Balls, but they don't necessarily look like this. They're just maybe a little bit different. Maybe that's what they look like Shenron's, where they're just colored balls, don't really have the stars or anything on them to give them a light up effect, right? So ideally, you're wanting to collect these so that you have the actual full look. Varies person to person, right, on if they want to do all that. But this Frieza's articulation, I think, is more or less the same also as some of the other Friezas. Nothing too different. The colors obviously are different. It's not really white. It's a white to blue, which does help kind of with the dirt. Kind of make sure you don't have like dirt stains like super visible. But, you know, if you take care of your figures, you shouldn't have any dirt stains anywhere. But yeah, that's all we're going to say about that guy. I'm going to put two figures up at once here because they have some of the same issues. Can't swap the heads. Don't know why they do that. This Krillin, though, has a really bigger head than the 3.0 Krillin down there. Interesting choice. Don't know why that was done. But I guess it still keeps with the style of Z. These two have the same problem in terms of posing and their, you know, arm joints and whatnot. If you're going a little bit overboard with trying to get him into a really dynamic pose with those arms, chance you might accidentally snap something. You do have to be really careful because of how small they are, and that's kind of my real issue with that. Is just they're so small that is really more of the problem. Gohan, especially with his hands, if you try to get the hands to the pegs, and you got to be really careful. Watch where you're pushing. Don't push too hard, or else you might break the peg, and now you're out of hand, and you've got to find some way to fix that, right? So, you know, it's unfortunate, but they still are great figures. They look great. Just wish that you could also swap heads casually rather than having to go and fix things yourself. But Tamashii is really weird about that for some reason. From character to character, they don't let you just, like, even for Goku's, like Vegeta's, they're all different. Most of them are different. Some of them are the same, which makes it easier, but a lot of those Gokus are different from each other with the pegs, which is really strange. Anyways, gonna throw Boo up here. Boo is cool. Don't know why he needed to be an event exclusive. I may not be remembering right. He might have been a web exclusive, or he might have been a general release last time. Whatever the case, I don't think making him an event exclusive was the right go-to option. Yeah, I don't think it was the right option. He's just not too different of a figure in terms of the painting that they did on him to really justify it, in my opinion. You know, I know he may not be everybody's favorite character, but at that point, you know what? They revealed a new figure at SDCC. He was an event exclusive. Why not have given us Super Boo from Super? Was Super Boo good? I guess you could say. That would have been cool. I would have taken that. And I know that's like a niche. That's a niche select group of people who would enjoy that. And I feel like that would have been a cool little event exclusive for a newer figure, right? Instead of just giving us, I guess, this Boo, which you could have just, I guess, made a regular release or something later, like way into the future. Because I don't really see a lot of people out crying for this Boo. And I mean, it's not like you can do a whole bunch of different poses at that point. You could just go get like a mini statue or something, right? He's not doing too much when you talk about posing. So that's my only thing with that. Zarbon, gonna throw him in B. The really only crazy thing I have to say about Zarbon is that he is one of the first figures I think I've seen from Dragon Ball that the scouter can come off on any head or any faceplate, and you can put the ear on any faceplate. That to me is like surprising. I think Bardock may have had it. I'm trying to think, but I don't really mess with the Bardock too much. But yeah, he can do it on any faceplate, and I think that's something that any figure that's from Z that's won a scouter should be able to do that. It just seems like a cool thing to have an expression and be able to put the scouter on any expression rather than just, oh, here's the two you got and that's it. So yeah, Zarbon's pretty cool. B tier. Gonna throw this guy in D tier. We're gonna get him out of the way. And I don't know who asked for this guy. I really don't. But I hope you are satisfied now. But seriously though, this guy is just not it. It's not. I don't feel like he's a worthwhile figure. I am a guy right now who is really in love with Figuarts. I really like Tamashii. I do. And I want to be a completionist in some way when we come to talk about like Dragon Ball Figuarts. I like Dragon Ball, so I would collect everything Dragon Ball for sure. But when it comes to like getting a potential reissue that you already have, because I decided to buy the old Armor Broly, and you have to make the decision: do you want a new one that's just the same thing you already have? And I've come to that decision of no, not this one at least, because I don't know. It feels like, I don't want to use the word lazy, but it feels like they could have done more with him. Right? They could have given you the red eyes on one of the stern faces or something, right? I don't know if the polish on it is necessarily something they needed to do. He only looks like really good like that in lighting, like hard light. And when you're in a regular dull room, he doesn't really stand out anymore. He's kind of a character, or kind of a figure I'd keep in a box and take pictures of very rarely. And I do see people very rarely, picking him up to take pictures. I don't really hear anybody talk about him that much either. So he's kind of like just dwindled down. As well as the fact that the aura effect is just like very bland. They could have done something to make the aura effect really pop out for him. And they didn't. And they could have given him an effect piece, like a blast or something for his mouth. I don't know. They just didn't really hit the bar when you think about it, and they could have done way better. So, yeah. I mean, the newer Broly that's coming out from Superhero would immediately be higher than this guy. This is all I can say. But we'll move on. Don't have too much to say about Android 16. Don't have them yet, not till March. For any of the SEC stuff that came out, I don't get mine from Premium Bandai until March of 2023 or so. It could be a little earlier. But yeah, he's great. Great paint, great articulation. I love the damage head, especially. Looks very, very cool. I don't know if that damage head is like a separate head, actually. It might be, it might not be. So I'll have to see. But if not, still it's good. We'll throw Shenron up here. So Shenron is not anything too crazy, nothing too bad. He has the metallic coating over him, which is fine. I think I've seen the older version have like some, I want to say purple, red, pinkish kind of whiskers, fin or whatever here. And that maybe like kind of made it pop out a little bit more. I would have liked to see that actually on this metallic coating as well. Kind of would have made for some interesting colors to pop. But, for people who don't have a Shenron, missed out on the last one, I think this is a good one to pick up. He's about like 130 on Premium Bandai. Might be marked up a little bit more elsewhere, but, he's a great pickup if you were wanting a Shenron that is articulated to some degree. but there's statues and stuff. If you want to get those instead, that might be a little bit cheaper. But yeah, he's a pretty cool figure. Nothing too crazy. Nothing bad. I'm gonna throw you an A. He's a 2.0 figure. Nothing too crazy there. There was some interesting things happening with Demoniacal Fit and Tamashii kind of having a similar design and a reveal near the same time frame. So I don't know. That's an interesting one, considering even Demoniacal Fit has theirs coming out by the end of this year into January. So I don't know. We'll see how that one looks. They are doing the aura effect as well, so I think you'll be able to get that at a cheaper price if you want to kind of mash that with other characters. I know that I want to use mine for SSJ4 Gohan for sure. But yeah, the aura effect is really why he's getting this A spot, because not only do they have the cool pearl scent and the halo, they also gave you this really cool effect, aura effect piece that, my goodness, they need to do more of. I swear, if Beast Gohan or Orange Piccolo or somebody doesn't come with some cool, unique aura effect or effect piece in general, Tamashii, you just gotta do better, bro. You gotta. You would think I'd put Gohan in S tier because 3.0 and just overall he's great for a general release figure. However, it's not him that's dragging him down to A. It's other people, right? The fact that all of his cool accessories are not a part of him at base, right? He's getting dragged down because of that. Broly, Pan, Gamma 1 and 2. Who knows who else? Because there's a chance that Lemo and Chilai might even... there's a chance that Lemo and Chilai might actually have something for him too. It's kind of crazy. Characters that have nothing to do with Gohan having effect pieces for him is insane to me. But yeah, I do think that it's a little unnecessary, highly unnecessary for Tamashii to be spreading Gohan this thin. Like that windy hair piece, the winking face or head, whatever it's supposed to be from Pan, could have been part of this general release Gohan. I'm gonna kind of just bring it up now, but I wanted to talk about it later. The Krillin down there, this 3.0 Krillin comes with about what, three or four heads, and it comes with an effect piece down here, right? These are a pretty stacked figure, the different hands, a sensu bean hand, multiple heads, and an effect piece. That's a general release figure right there. Great. Go on. 3 face plates, hands, and that's it. Easily, if they wanted to, could have thrown a windy hair effect, a base head, or an SSJ head. SSJ head would have been ideal. That might sound like a lot, but an SSJ head and a total of 6 face plates, base and SSJ, would have been fine for most people. And I think most people would have been okay with okay, Gamma 1 comes with a windy hair effect. Okay, cool. I don't need it. It's not super important, but if I get it, it's cool. Rather than saying, okay, here's SSJ hair for Gamma 1, and if you don't buy Gamma 1, you're not getting an SSJ hair for Gohan unless you want to go out to DL Customs or somebody else who may do it in the future, right? That's so stupid. I don't know why Tamashii is thinking that way. It doesn't really, in my opinion, help drive sales, because at the end of the day, there's people who don't really like Broly anyway, and even if they want the Gohan effect piece, they just will opt not to get it. It's you could say it's a bonus, but then you think about Pan, right? Easily they could have also said, you know what? Instead of just giving people one faceplate or a head, whatever it's supposed to be, since they can't properly describe it to us, let's give them 2 to 3 extra Gohan effect pieces to make her purchase at least feel a little bit more worthwhile, since she's a shorter figure, comes with less, and we're charging almost $70 to $80 for her. Yeah. They could have used their brains a little bit there. So unfortunately, Gohan, you're getting dragged down by external problems that are not your own, but otherwise he's a great figure. He's affordable, and yeah, I think if you're going to start out in the line, superhero is the way to go. Ultimate Gohan, Goku, Vegeta. The Vegeta is okay. Goku is pretty standard, as all 2.0 Gokus. So yeah, Piccolo. We'll talk about Piccolo here. Piccolo's great. He's a really great articulation. He also has a back plate that can come off. And if you do have the older Piccolo, you can put the cape on him, which is really cool. I didn't know that for like the first 4 months I had him. So to discover that was really funny. And yeah, sometimes I kind of want to swap that a little bit because I do have 2 Piccolos. So I kind of I'm thinking of keeping one of them in the cape and kind of recreating that first interaction between between Gamma 2 and Piccolo. Jesus Christ, my brain. But yeah, if he would go up to A if he had ankle swivel like Gohan. I don't know where in that process they didn't decide to do that for him, but Orange Piccolo's getting to ankle articulation, so immediately, I think they realized that they kind of fucked up there. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna put him in C. It's nothing bad. I just think that he's not really gonna be doing any crazy poses or anything, right? He's probably gonna be able to get his arms back behind him to recreate, Vegeta holding his arm back and stuff like that. But other than that, he's gonna be pretty much in a standing pose like this, not doing too much. Kefla, she suffers from some of the same problems I talked about with Gohan and Krillin. Mine in particular, her arm peg for the right side is smaller than the left. So I have to be really careful about even moving her arms because sometimes they'll just fall off. But she can be balanced really well. I've been able to do kind of the pose when she first fused and was messing with Goku, and she kind of like was on one leg. She can do that. Granted, she has all this hair and it's kind of heavy, but she can be posed on one leg, so she's got good balance. Probably some things I would have liked to see changed here for her torso and whatnot, but she's already been released, so hopefully somewhere down the line in the future they make a new one updated. Imperfect Cell, very cool figure. Love the tail articulation. Sometimes I can't really tell the difference with the different head pieces because they kind of look the same, and there's might be like a little shift in the arc of where his eyebrows kind of would be to kind of give him more expression. But sometimes it's hard to tell, so it's not something I change too often. But yeah, I mean, a lot of accessories for this guy, and I don't really care about the scaling too much. I know he's supposed to be taller and whatnot, but you can't expect every figure to be crazy good, right? I'm going to throw this guy in S tier. I highly recommend him. He's a general release figure. If you want that, go for it. Like I said, he does come with, senzu bean. Holding the senzu bean's hands comes with Destructo Disc and about a total of 3 or 4 heads and hands. He's great. Very articulated, very expressive. I have seen the one complaint is that why are Tamashii not giving these fucking Krillins smiling faces? Like, is Krillin got to be down in his luck that much? I guess so, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's the only thing. He doesn't come with one. Otherwise, solid figure. Highly worth it. Again, Gohan would be up there, but there also is one thing. He doesn't come with any effect pieces, so that's just the thing. No effect pieces for Gohan. No blast, nothing. Like, they could have given him a Kamehameha. That thing is like really cheap. No, the third parties that are making that's like inconsequential. So it just is really weird. Yeah. Purunga though, I'm gonna put A. Don't own him yet. May never own him, but out of looking at everything in consideration for potentially buying him, I've come to the conclusion that he may be one of the greatest figures, of the year too. Having such a big character be able to be articulated in any form is crazy. We had Grade 8 Vegeta. That was insane because he also has leg articulation, toe articulation, and overall is just a great big figure. Purunga may not have all that with the legs and stuff, but he's got swivel kind of in the torso and can move his arms and head and whatnot. But he also comes with Dende, who's got the light effects and sound effects. Now, I think that's really cool. Is it worth $230 or so, or whatever? Kind of yes and no. It really depends on how much worth you put into looking at it, right? Like, you could just easily go look for some kind of Banpresto statue or something similar for him and say, this is a cool Purunga, got it for way less. But I guess it's the sound effects and the light up effects that you're getting with him, and the articulation, and the little mini Dende, I guess you could say too, that really kind of like put it together, and just it's going to be a perfect centerpiece for your collection, at least for the Namek Saga. It's overall great. So yeah, I think it's a perfect figure. I hope to see a lot of videos and pictures taken when people get theirs sometime this week to next week or something. I think it's definitely supposed to come out before the end of December. So that'll be really cool to see. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this entire tier list. Like I said, C to A doesn't mean they're horrible or bad. Just definitely could get some improvements. Don't do it again, Tamashii. Make your event exclusives worthwhile to people. Don't just throw things out there that are just kind of like, oh yeah, we could do that, but here you go. It's just really, like I said, I don't want to say lazy, but that's how it comes off. Yeah, overall, again, if you're new to the figure scene in terms of SH Figuarts for Dragon Ball stuff, Superhero and Krillin, really great figures overall. I think that you would like them. Posing is pretty decent on these guys. You'll see a lot of these Gokus in the same body for a while. We're slowly transitioning to 3.0, which is like SSJ4 Vegeta, Krillin, Ultimate Gohan. We're slowly getting there. There are third parties who are taking on that challenge, such as Demoniacal Fit and Kong Studios. There are private, personal, third-party creators who are also doing this on their own time with individual figures that they sell. Which, if you want to go down that route, that's more money than you would probably want to spend anyway. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a little bit long. I tried to make it not as long. But yeah, if you guys want to share your, tier list down below, definitely do that. I am hyped to see any new reveals that we get also next year. Some of the reveals we've gotten so far have all been great. And yeah, if you haven't already seen it, go check out the Jump Festa SH Figuarts review. There was so much good reveals. Some things I talk about in terms of like the Ichigo situation, and hopefully see them getting that feedback and whatnot for the future, because it is important to amplify the feedback now as opposed to later, because it's going to be a while before I think we get an update on some of those reveals. But yeah, anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.